Good evening, everyone. I'd like to declare the meeting open at 6:01 p.m. This meeting is being live streamed in accordance with Section 5.23A of the Local Government Act 1995. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Item 2 is apologies, attendance and leave of absence. There are none this evening. Item 3 is disclosures of interest. Any councillors have anything to disclose? Councillor Sadowski?
Thank you, and I need a little bit of help at the moment. The information bulletins, is someone able to provide the number, the item number for that, please? My apologies.
Through the chair, is the information bulletin. I believe is the item 1 there, the outstanding council resolution register on item 116. There was reference to the two name of the firm.
Yeah, so it was the information bulletin about council resolutions that have occurred over the last year. So that was item number.
It's item number 1 under the information bulletin, which is 14.6.
Thank you, 14.6. So I'd like to declare an impartial interest. My spouse works for the consultant mentioned in that report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Impartial, staying in the room.
Anyone else? No? Okay. So we now move on to item 4, which is announcements by the chairperson, and there is none this evening. Item 5 is response to previous questions taken on notice, and there is nil. Item 6 is public question time. Have we received any questions on notice? Any public questions? No? And there are no members in the gallery this evening. Item 7 is applications for leave of absence. Anyone like to put in a leave application? No? Item 8 is petitions, deputations and presentations. There are nil. Item 9 is confirmation of minutes of the previous minutes. So may I please have a mover and seconder for the minutes of the meeting held on the 26th of February 2026 to be confirmed? Moved, Deputy Chair. Seconded. Councillor Hamilton. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Can I please also have a mover and seconder for the minutes of the meeting, the special meeting of council held on the 5th of March 2026 to be confirmed? Moved, Councillor Sadowski. Seconded, Deputy Chair. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Thank you. So item 10 is questions by members of which due notice has been given, and I've been advised by the acting CEO that we have not received any questions. Item 11 is questions without notice. So councillors, are there any questions that you have that are not specific to the employee reports? No? Oh, Councillor Sadowski?
Sorry, Madam Chair. 14.5, the Model Code of Conduct, that is one of the reports.
So we can ask that question when we get to that item?
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then I just have one question regarding one of our confidentials, 19.2.
That's fine. Okay. So item 12 is announcement of confidential matters for which the meeting may be closed to the public. And the following confidential reports are covered in section 19 of this agenda. We have the Regional Waste Collection Service Shire of Mundaring and Hazelmere Resource Recovery Park update. Item 13 is business not dealt with from a previous meeting, and there is nil. So item 14, we're up to employee reports, and we have 10 employee reports, and I'm going to ask councillors if they'd like to pull any of these items for questions. Councillor Sadowski.
Thank you. 14.5, Model Code of Conduct.
Anyone else? No? Okay. So I'm going to ask for a mover and seconder to move the officer recommendation on block with the exception of item 14.5. Can I have a mover and seconder? Move Councillor Sadowski. Seconded, Deputy Chair. All those in favour? That is unanimous. So we'll go to item 14.5 for discussion. Councillor, did you have a question or were you wanting to move the officer's recommendation?
I just have a question first, and then we'll decide whether we move or not.
Yep.
My question is regarding the Model Code of Conduct, and with the Model Code of Conduct, we have an opportunity to either have council determine complaints or an independent assessor determine complaints. And in the Model Code of Conduct, it doesn't mention anything about an external independent assessor. It says that council will be determining the outcome of a complaint. I'm just wondering why we've chosen to go with council as opposed to an independent assessor.
Absolutely. Obviously, as per the requirement of the regs and the Act itself, there is no requirement to do so. And the fact is also we are also guided by the fact that we've not had a complaint, and all our councillors are well behaved, so we don't need that. And for us to go out to a request for a consultant to be contracted through, they'll be waiting and sitting. So from that point of view, it can be decided at a later point by council whether they wish to appoint an external one to do the necessary investigation. But for now, it will probably be the advice of the officers that we don't need one for now. And
Can I ask how long has it been since we've had any issues with complaints or had any complaints?
we've not had any complaints in my 16 years here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy to move the officer's recommendation.
Do I have a seconder? Deputy Chair, Councillor, do you wish to speak to the item?
No, thank you.
Deputy Chair, do you wish to speak to it?
Seems to include the recent changes to the legislation, so yeah, happy with what's been put.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak to the item? No? I'll put it straight to the vote. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Okay. So we now move on to item 15, which is reports of committees. Councillors, we have 2 items under the minutes of the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee. Do we have any items that you wish to withdraw in this section? No? If not, can I have a mover and seconder to move on block the items? Moved Councillor Ostowski, seconded Deputy Chair. I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? That is unanimous. So we now move to item 16, which is reports of delegates. So 16.1 is the Municipal Waste Advisory Council minutes held the 18th of February 2026. So the minutes are as presented in the agenda, and as our representative on MWAC, would Councillor Hamilton like to speak to this item at all?
I think our acting CEO actually had more to say at that meeting than I did. So
I'll invite the acting CEO to comment.
Through the chair, obviously we work very closely with, we do have an officer advisory group, and one of the big items for us was the support provided by local governments in terms of the MWAC, in terms of their annual contribution. Obviously, with the changes in the regional local governments, that's come up for discussion. And in actual fact, the proposal is now actually a significant reduction in all regional local government. And the local government recognize that the individual waste is still coming from their individual local governments. So as such, there's a recommendation for the new distribution in terms of how it's going to be allocated, and the MRC has had a significant reduction in that price as well. So that's the main one for us. But all around, it's been still with the advocacy around our sustainability about things like FOGO, illegal things that's still on the go, and we have another officer advisory group meeting next Monday.
Councillor Hamilton, anything?
no, that was the main conversation about the formatting of the voting. So
The formatting of the voting.
the
distribution.
Anyway, distribution.
Okay. All right. Item 17 is members' motions of which previous notice has been given and there is nil. Item 18, new business of an urgent nature. There is nil. Item 19, confidential matters for which the meeting may be closed to the public. So may I have a mover and seconder to go behind closed doors for the purpose of dealing with matters of a confidential nature. Moved Deputy Chair, seconded Councillor Ostaszowski. All those in favour? That is unanimous. And we'll close the doors at 6:11 p.m. I declare the meeting reopened at 6:30 p.m. and the live streaming will now continue. That takes us, just one second. That now takes us to item 20, future meetings of council, with the next one scheduled for the 23rd of April if required. And I will now declare the meeting closed at 6:30 p.m. Thank you, councillors.